This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Women make up the largest voting bloc in the country, and that's just who opposition leader Philip Davis is relying on to hold on to the top post within the Progressive Liberal Party come its convention next week. Ironically, Mr. Davis will be running against Engliston MP Glenys Hannah Martin, the only PLP candidate to have held on to a New Providence seat in the May 10th general elections. Addressing the party's New Providence Central Regional meeting at Columbus Primary School last evening, Mr. Davis spoke of his desire to see women take on greater roles and responsibilities that would make the PLP stronger. In fact, he vowed that if re-elected leader, PLP women can be assured of their place around his leadership table. Now, despite such talk, Mr. Davis has chosen Exuma and Ragged Island MP I. Chester Cooper as his running mate in the party's big leadership race. Meantime, no word on who Mrs. Hannah Martin hopes will become her deputy headed into the big showdown. Well, meantime, despite what's being said, Glenys Hannah Martin's letting PLPs know why she shouldn't be counted out when it comes to rebuilding and re-energizing the PLP as a formidable force. Amajal Knowles has that story.
Roughly a week away from her showdown with Progressive Liberal Party interim leader Philip Brave Davis for the party's top post, Engliston MP Glenys Hannah Martin is exuding confidence. Appearing as a guest on the Love 97 radio program On Point, the former transport minister making a strong case on why she should be the PLP's man, or in this case, woman, in charge.
You know, I can't say why me and not him. I know why me. I believe that I bring the experience. I've been in 4 elections and I've been in numerous by-elections. I've won my own seat. I help other people win too, but I've won my own seat. I've won it this time in the most difficult circumstances. I've served as national chairman of the party, so I understand the machinery of the organization. I've served in cabinet twice. I've held a technical ministry, which is very difficult. We made great, in my view, great advancements, especially in the last 5 years. I worked very hard, and we saw reform and modernization in a number of sectors. And I've tried to walk a straight and narrow path without looking left or right, and keeping my head above water in my service to the Bahamian people.
Hannah Martin also revealing of the party's crushing defeat in the May 10th general election and apparent disconnection with its core supporters with a catalyst that ignited her campaign for leadership.
It is the result of the elections, and it is our base, which in quite a large way did not support us, and that causes me grave concern because...
And you see the erosion of the base, and you feel that you can stem that erosion?
Well, I don't know if I see it as an erosion, because erosion means that it's being whittled down. I don't accept that. I know that it appears as if that some level of confidence was lost, and we have to get that confidence back. Because, you know, the base shifts, like was just said just now, the base... Dr. Ennis, he said that the base goes sometimes from working class to middle class and on. So the base can shift, but the base is your base because the ideology begins there and makes its way up the spectrum.
Now, amid scathing sexist rhetoric surrounding her bid to become the first female leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, Hannah Martin has said she does not think her gender has been a major hurdle during her campaign.
You know, I think that leadership is, I don't see reality based on gender. I think that human beings can pursue their objectives as they see fit. They can be engineers, women can be engineers, men can be engineers. Women can be physicians, men can be physicians. Women can be nurses, men could be nurses. Women can lead countries, men can lead countries. And it goes on and on. The question is, pound for pound. This is what it is, you know, it ain't who's male or female. Pound for pound, look at the track records. Look at what each individual brings to the table substantively to the issue of governance and leadership, not extraneous issues. You know, look at that, look at those issues and determine which of the two are best suited to lead an organization which is important to our country.
I'm Amajal Knowles.
Meantime, a very vocal Fred Mitchell also took the mic at the PLP's Central Regional meeting last night, publicly condemning the current administration for appearing productive.
They say it's the people's time, and we know They said that they had the answers to poverty and helping out poor people. But we know, in fact, all they've been doing is firing people from the public service since they've gotten in office. That's what we know. We know that their supporters are in Grand Bahama, screaming at the top of their lungs, saying, "Fix Grand Bahama."
The opposition senator also took a jab at Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands' admittance that he conducted private surgeries while a sitting cabinet minister.
The manual of procedure, ever since 1967, says in this country that a minister cannot do private work while he's a minister of the government. And what they do in the manual, it says that the Prime Minister, of course, if you got a problem, you could go to the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister could waive whatever conflict you got. So what they're supposedly saying, I haven't heard from Dr. Minnis, but I guess what they're saying is that they gave him permission to do it.
Mr. Mitchell went on to accuse Dr. Sands of wrecking national health insurance. Last night's meeting reached out to residents in Centerville, Bain and Grantstown, Marathon, Freetown, and St. Barnabas. Our final stories are up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.